I have watched Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice.
And is Bat v Superman?
I prefer to call it Bats v Soups,
Bats v Soups, yeah.
D of J.
DOJ.
I think that's a much catchier title than that whole fucking mouthful. But okay, I'll start off with this. I mean, last conversation we had about this, I was like, I have very low expectations about this movie.
Yeah, you were really underwhelmed with Zack Snyder's interpretation of the first Man of Steel
and
film.
And that's basically what I was saying was like, I just want it to be better than Man of Steel.
Yeah.
And then I'll be perfectly fine with it.
Yeah, as long as the Batman elements are good, you know, like that's where we were at. That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Like that's the only reason I would watch this movie at the cinemas, to see Batfleck, basically.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so, you know, to answer both of those questions, yes, it is better than Man of Steel.
Mhm.
I liked it a lot better than that. Man of Steel gets me so infuriated. It's one of those films, like, I'm such a comic book fan that even if there's a movie that they fuck up, like Blade 3
Right.
is
Yeah.
a horrible movie,
Yes.
but I've watched that like 3 times because I'm just like, I want to have another good Blade movie.
Sure.
So I'm like, maybe I misjudged it.
Yeah. Maybe
You know,
something I missed.
Maybe there's something I missed. Maybe I just wasn't drunk enough, or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
You know, I just make myself rewatch it. Maybe this time it will click with me.
Sure.
That's the kind of fan I am. Man of Steel is really the only exception to that rule.
And you know, for us, like Michael Shannon as Zod was
Oh, yeah.
perfect casting in our
Incredible.
minds. Yeah,
and
yeah,
he's
yeah.
great in it.
He's
He
great.
is
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
great
yeah,
in
yeah.
it. But and it wasn't a badly made movie in terms of technically.
Okay.
You know, but script wise, it was a terrible script
Yeah,
with just
all over the
incredible, huge plot holes.
But like tonally,
And
totally
tonally,
wrong.
it just totally pissed all over that character. They
Yeah.
didn't understand it. But so with this, I just wanted it to be better than that. Of course, the bar is very low when we're talking about that. To answer the other question, I loved everything about Batfleck.
Yeah.
I thought it was fantastic. Ben Affleck suits the part to a T.
Like both sides, Bruce Wayne and Batman.
He's great.
Yeah.
No, he's great. With this movie, it's like he's built like Batman, and he's
Yeah.
physically built. There's a whole training montage. He's not wearing a shirt, and he's like, you're like, what the fuck? I mean, he's built like a brick shithouse.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
If you thought he was built in the town, he's more built in this movie. You know,
Okay,
he's
cool.
dedicated to this part. He
Yeah.
gave a shit. They had kind of a hard thing to do because there wasn't a solo Batman movie before this to kind of make this an event film. I mean, Batman in this universe is being introduced in this film, but all those elements are great. You know, they don't. I just wish we had more time with them, really.
Right. Okay.
But it's like they have to hit the ground running, but
there's so many elements to introduce into this movie.
so many, Jesus, too many. But all the stuff, he's great. And also it's moments where he has little to do, where he's just quiet, where you just feel, or before he says a line, you just feel the weight.
Yeah.
This is an aged Batman, a guy who's become very bitter with
Got a
age.
little gray hair. And,
Yeah, he's
that
a
kind
bit
of thing.
haunted. He
Yeah.
doesn't fuck around. In this movie, he kills people.
Right.
Of course, because this is a Zack Snyder universe. Superman kills people, so
And-
why
and-
wouldn't Batman, right?
And they're going to be releasing an R-rated version for Blu-ray
right.
of it. So like I'm sure they go to some dark places there.
Yeah. He's amazing in that. Jeremy Irons is Alfred.
Yeah.
He's fucking fantastic. And
Oh, cool.
in a way, whenever he's in the scene, he actually steals the show. He's the only aspect of humor in this whole film.
Okay.
He's just so deadpan and dry, but it's the
Right,
only
right,
time anybody... This film needed more fucking humor.
You're right. Because
Jeremy
it's so
Irons-
dark and serious and Nolan-esque and yeah.
It's like, everything's so grim.
Yeah.
And even if Superman is just looking like he's grim all the time, it's fucking Superman. But
Indeed.
Jeremy Irons brings that, and man, there is, in terms of action, this is the best action scenes that Batman has ever been involved.
Yeah.
There's one great sequence which has been alluded to a lot in the trailers.
Yeah.
Where he's on the bat plane and he jumps out and he takes those guys out.
Yeah.
It's the high point of the movie.
Cool.
It's incredible. It's the one time that I'm like, okay, I'm happy Zack Snyder's directing this film. Because he knows how to do an action scene. I'll tell you that. You can tell they were heavily influenced by the Arkham series.
Absolutely. But playing those video games, it really felt like this is how Batman fights. It's
Yes.
very fluid, it's very smooth.
Yeah.
And, it was some of the best action, in a video game I've played in a
Completely.
long, long, long time.
And that whole sequence feels basically like a live action version of that. I mean,
Okay.
it's stunning. It's really a lot of fun. There's direct references to the Arkham game, even.
Okay.
In terms of how he takes people out.
Okay,
Like
cool.
with the whole. No, the whole, like, he bursts out the floor.
All right, yeah.
He lands on the ceiling. He grapples a guy, takes
Yeah,
him up.
yeah, yeah,
This
yeah.
kind of stuff. So
Oh, cool.
if you're a fan of that series, there's a direct reference. I mean, also there's another really crazy, like, he has a nightmare sequence. It's
Right.
So
yeah.
like I'm gonna say as well, everything I'm talking about, I'm not spoiling anything. Everything is referenced in the trailers.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do any direct spoilers of the story.
Yeah.
But this whole nightmare sequence is sort of the whole apocalyptic scene we've seen in the trailers, where Batman's in like that leather jacket, and there's one
So
great.
it's like the Scarecrow scene in the games, like kind of like that, like when
I
he
wish it was more organic to the plot than that, but
Okay.
we're dealing with Zack Snyder. It's just like, what? Where
Just
the
like
fuck did this come
gets
out?
crowbarred in there.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a fun sequence.
Yeah.
You know, don't get me wrong, it's a fun sequence, but it's just like, huh? Who? What?
why?
Where
now?
is this? Why is this in the plot? But it has this great sort of one take of Batman just taking people out, and he's in the future, so he's got a gun and all this shit.
Yeah.
And just Affleck really like kicking ass.
Cool.
As bad. So I will say that all the Batman stuff is fantastic. I was really satisfied by that, and I'm really excited to see Ben Affleck do a solo Batman movie.
Absolutely.
Also considering, like, we heard the rumors, a lot of the dialogue of his storyline in
Yes.
the film, it feels worlds apart from the rest of the film.
Yeah, because he would sit in his dressing room in the full Batman outfit in
be
between
writing
takes,
dialogue, yeah.
and he'd be rewriting the script because he
Yes.
cares that much. I mean, again, in Daredevil, he barely read the script, I can imagine, or like when he was pretending to be blind, would probably be staring at the script like off camera a little bit.
He had double vision because he was drunk.
Yeah, indeed.
But,
But
I
here-
think as well, I remember hearing an interview with him, and he said he so regretted that experience on Daredevil.
Yeah.
Because he was a massive Daredevil fan. That's
Sure.
why he went for that role. And he so regretted, he felt he fucked it up.
Yeah.
And you feel with this, it's like he's got a second
He's
chance.
got to redeem himself.
He's got to redeem
It's like a
himself.
Rocky story almost.
Completely.
It's like, yeah.
No, he's brilliant, man. He's
Yeah.
brilliant. And all that aspect is great. The look of Gotham is really good.
Oh, cool.
Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as you can probably guess, she's a very small part until the third act. Again, I'm not spoiling anything. The fucking trailers have revealed this.
Yeah.
Is that it's Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, they're fighting Doomsday.
Also, that's that's pretty standard.
Yeah.
For this
Standard
kind of
comic
story.
book stuff.
Like I've read enough comic books to
Yeah.
know that's pretty much where it's gonna go.
And in
Yeah.
a way, that's why I didn't mind it. You
Yeah.
know, because it's like, okay, it felt like really sloppy storytelling. But guess what? Being a comic book fan, they do this shit all the time.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman was fantastic. She only really features heavily in the third act. I had my misgivings to her because she was like, the only other thing she had done was she was in Fast and the Furious.
And she's mainly a model or something like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, but she was like chopstick thin.
Yeah.
Like grossly thin. I mean, a pretty face, but you're like, what?
Yeah, like this Amazonian princess, it didn't quite fit. Like,
Yeah, but you're like, fuck you,
Yeah.
Cast someone who can, who's athletic, But, she's built herself up.
Okay.
She looks pretty good.
Great.
I mean, she's hot. And she looks great in the outfit.
Nice.
And she brings it in the fighting scenes. I mean, she really brings it. And, her line delivery is a little bit meh. But she has real presence.
Okay.
And, to be honest, it's a pretty big thing to do is a live action Wonder Woman thing.
Yeah.
If you picture it in your head before this movie came out, you're like, I don't think they can pull that shit off. But it works. That's one element that really works.
Yeah.
That's satisfying. And I'm actually excited about the movie.
And in terms of Zack Snyder direction, because I always had a lot of problems with how he directed films, but then with Watchmen, I felt like some of those elements were toned down a little bit.
Yeah.
In terms of like the slow motion and the kind of making everything big.
Yeah.
Did you feel that with this movie that he kind of toned down a little bit in those aspects and kind of focused more on his story, or like how did you feel about his direction like overall in this film?
Maybe I should kind of get into the guts of it because that will explain your question.
Okay.
It starts off with a pretty stunning opening. I really like the opening. That's it's also revealed in the trailers, and it's Wayne, Bruce Wayne, Batfleck experiencing the whole last battle of Man of Steel, but from his perspective, basically.
Right.
Which was a really cool idea, actually.
Cool.
So it's all played by his point of view.
And seeing all the destruction and all that, all the people dying.
Innocent people he's trying to save die.
Yeah.
And that sort of rubbed him the wrong way about Superman, basically.
Like somebody with this amount of power existing on the planet, there has to be safeguards against people like this. Yeah.
And also I find it hilarious that, because, me included, a lot of people were pissed off about the finale of Man of Steel.
Yeah.
In terms of this, they wrecked Metropolis.
Yeah.
And Superman didn't care. But in this way, this movie at least references that.
Okay.
And that's in a way the whole fallout about the Superman persona, why the public's against him. But so yeah, getting into your sort of question, like this is a 2.5 hour movie.
Which is long, yeah.
It's fucking long.
Yeah, for a superhero film, yeah.
Superhero movie. It's long. But it's just loads and loads of plot until the third act. And then the third act is like, you were saying like, do you want that, did Zack Snyder go over the top with spectacle? By the 1 hour mark, I wanted Zack Snyder's spectacle.
Right.
Like, give it to me. Jesus fucking Christ.
Right. You felt like he was holding back a little bit.
Just so much plot. And for them to have just gigantic plot holes that still don't make sense. There wasn't a satisfactory reason why Batman and Superman ended up fighting. But once I got to it, I was like, thank God they're fighting. Right. I'm excited to see the fight.
Batman in the suit fighting Superman. I'm sure that was
in
fun.
The Dark Knight Returns suit. All the fans are like, yeah, fuck yeah. And their fight was, it could have been more epic, but it was fun. It was fun. The resolution of it is a little bit lame, but they do that in the comic books always. And it's like, oh, we're buddies now.
Yeah.
It's a lot of plot, a lot of setting up the Justice League. What Marvel does so well is they do all that setup, but at least they attempt to do it organically to the plot line.
Sure.
With this film, literally, Bruce Wayne discovers a file that's at LexCorp, and it's like 4 files. One is Wonder Woman, one is Flash, one's Aquaman, one's Cyborg, and he clicks on them each. And it's like, oh, that's the Justice League. It's not. Right. It's literally feels like, okay, hold up a second. Let's pause this fucking movie and let's set up Justice League. Okay, we got that out of the way. Okay, we can continue the movie now. Also, the whole Superman side of the storyline. Already, I don't fucking care about that. And it's not done. I don't feel any closer to Superman. I don't give a shit about him as a character. Henry Cavill is not a solid actor.
No.
Also, just in terms of motivations of what he does, I do not care. It doesn't make any sense. He's an alien that doesn't relate to society. So why would I give a fuck about him?
Sure.
You know what I mean? That's not the Superman character. Whatever. Lois Lane, like Amy Adams, is completely wasted in it.
And she's great. I love her.
She's a great actress. And that's the problem. It's not that she's not attractive. But in terms of what a nothing role that is, they should have just gotten some eye candy. Because if I'm just watching her just do nothing, but
it could be anybody.
Either be Mrs. Exposition or be Mrs. In Peril.
Yeah.
They should have just gone a model or something and let Amy Adams do something better with her fucking time. So, I mean, the plot was a fucking gigantic mess.
Sure.
But I will say I had fun with the film.
Cool.
I really did, because just also in terms of that finale, it was like I was hungering for spectacle. I'm like, enough of this plot.
Yeah.
And seeing Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman working together against Doomsday. I mean, Doomsday as well, they fuck up. But at least it's a fun fight.
Yeah.
And it was like, finally, we're seeing this live action. I've been waiting a long time to see that. So, yes, now, getting to the elephant in the room.
Your best friend.
Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
Is fucking horrendous.
Because it's weird because people were saying that he was actually the best thing about this movie.
Those people
there.
were smoking crack. Oh my god, he's so
Okay,
bad, and
right.
he's beyond what I expected him to be bad.
Okay.
Because initially, I actually don't mind him as an actor.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think he's pretty solid in some roles. And so my major problem with him being cast as Lex Luthor is that he was just generally miscast. And
Right.
it's not that he's a bad actor, but he's just, it's
Yeah.
like, I will give him this. He really dives into the role.
Okay.
He really, you know,
Like he gives it his all.
he turns it
yeah.
up to 11.
Okay.
But it's so misplaced. I mean, basically plays it as like a mental asylum lunatic. And then
Right.
you're basically questioning like, so how is he running this major company?
Yeah.
You know, LexCorp is a huge company and nobody suspects that he's behind everything. You know, he even meets Batman, Superman in that trailer scene.
Yeah.
Clark Kent, Bruce Wayne. It's like, how is nobody, like before that he
Yeah,
has
yeah.
this speech where he basically goes on this maniacal rant and everybody's just like, okay, that was awkward. And no one suspects him of being the bad guy. But I mean, there is a reference that, because everyone calls him Alexander Luthor. So that his father started the company.
Right.
So maybe, and so what I'm hoping is in the next thing he's featured in the DC universe, is that, because his father's meant to be dead,
Right.
is that Bryan Cranston busts out of a grave and then walks up to Jesse Eisenberg, bitch slaps the shit out of him, and throws him to boarding school, and then
Yeah.
takes over the actual,
Yeah.
like this is like the actual Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's irritating. He's really obnoxious. He's irritating. It's not that he's bad. He's horrendous.
Yeah.
And you're just left being like, oh my god, how could they so colossally fuck this vital part of the DC universe up?
Sure.
I mean, Lex Luthor is the Joker to Superman.
Yeah.
You know, it's like he's vital. And they're like, oh, we'll just go crazy and get Jesse Eisenberg.
It seems a little lame.
So yeah, no, he's terrible.
Okay.
And you would think like he would be, you know, he's meant to be one of those off the wall, colorful villains.
Yeah.
Nobody was laughing at anything, and I was in a packed full cinema. Nobody got it.
Indeed.
It didn't click with anybody. The shit he was doing.
I mean, Kevin Spacey was amazing. You know, I really
Gene
liked
Hackman.
him. Yeah.
But that's the thing. Yeah, Hackman was a bit of a buffoon. He was funny. He was colorful. But at the end of the day,
Yeah.
he was scary.
Yeah.
He had menace to him.
Power.
You're never threatened by Eisenberg ever in this film.
Right.
And there's like a scene where he stands off where Affleck is in the full Batman suit and grabs him by the throat. And you're just like, you know,
He'd snap him
please,
like a twig.
please
Yeah.
crush his fucking head like a watermelon. And he's still doing like, he has this little nervous twitch.
Yeah.
He's like, at this point, I would have like preferred Michael Cera. 'Cause at least I would have been laughing the whole time, as opposed to just wanting to jump into the screen, Last Action Hero style, and bitch slap the shit out of this guy. He's horrible. So
So
that's
verdict.
yeah. I mean, not a great movie, but I did have fun. It's a step up from Man of Steel. All the Batman stuff is great, though. The Superman stuff is meh. But you know, in terms of getting, you know, DC stepping it up.
Yeah. So going into that expanded universe,
Yeah.
like what Marvel's doing. Yeah.
Like I said, this is their shortcut. They didn't have the time to do all these different projects,
Yeah.
you know. So the ball's in their court, basically.
Yeah, so it's bringing in the Justice League. So it's not the animated thing, but
Exactly.
breaking into the Justice League.
Yeah. I mean, the
universe,
ending
yeah.
leads up to that, and it's like it's going to segue into Justice League.
Okay.
And so, in terms of you know, I'm interested to see where this goes. I'm more looking forward to not to the next Justice League movie that Snyder's doing.
Yeah.
Like you said, I'm looking forward to the Affleck Batman movie. I'm looking forward to the Wonder Woman movie. I'm looking forward to Suicide Squad. Anybody not related to Snyder, basically.
Yeah.